So typically, a difference between the on-prem and cloud or SaaS products as far as end user experience goes, and this entire window of trying to lay out what you want and ending up with something that you can use. So in let's say an on-prem scenario, my experience has been that people are that much more involved or open to working with the product team and essentially conveying what is it that they're looking for. Now, if you were to take an analogy of this, um, you know, when in the entire house purchasing cycle, you are that much when it comes to interiors and interior design, there's so many options, there's so many aspects of customization that you want for your own house, and you're willing to work with contractors and people in this entire ecosystem to get what exactly you want and invite them and build it out for your house. And that's one way of looking at how requirements in this on-prem kind of scenario work, because the requirements or the customizations for a client are exactly that. They're extremely custom and specific, so they're that much open to working closely with the provider to get what they exactly want. Now, in when you move this model to a SaaS ecosystem, that that just stops, because there's so many customers potentially, and if a product provider or a service provider starts to customize his offering for every single one of them, he's not going to be able to meet anything. And so that's where this aspect of getting standardized feature requirements or enabling standardized business processes comes from the product provider. And companies like SAP and Oracle say that, hey, we work with so many customers, and we know what best practices are, and we've built them into our product. And if a new customer takes our product, he's essentially consuming all these best practices. Now, that's a very rosy picture. What tends to happen, or what hopefully does not tend to happen, what you will be able to avert successfully is pushing something into your product which essentially breaks what is working for a particular customer. And I'm sure you've experienced this yourself. I know I experienced this last week. I was using Google Maps for my navigation, and I did not know a couple of days back I had updated something on my phone which essentially broke navigation. Right. So now I'm on the road, I'm trying to go to this new place, and I'm relying on Google Maps because it's always worked for me. But on this particular day, it just stops. I mean, it's showing me on one part of the town where clearly I'm somewhere else. So the experience for me was essentially broken. But I mean, Google Maps is essentially a B2C kind of scenario, so that's okay. I can't hold Google. I can't go back and hold Google Scholar saying that what did you push? It's broken for me. But in a B2B setting, that's a very real thing, because in a B2B setting, you're not working with direct consumers like you would do in a B2C setting, but you're essentially working with these customers and organizations who you hope to have a good working relationship with. Because if you don't, when it comes to renewals, you're not going to get back their contract. So, whatever you're pushing into your product in a cloud or a SaaS setting, the onus is on you as a product manager to make sure that whatever hundred thousands, 10,000 customers that are using your product, their business processes are not adversely impacted. And due to no malicious intent of yours. So that's kind of a difference in let's say an on-prem versus a SaaS setting. That you're not working as closely or as in a customized manner for your clients or eventual users, but this responsibility to make sure that life goes on for them or it's business as usual for them is that much more important. So yeah, tell me if that made sense from from these various experiences or angles. I'm sure you would have seen those play out in
Yes.
your own life.